Hello again, Laurie Lane-Zucker, founder and CEO of Impact Entrepreneur, and we're here at the SOCAP conference in San Francisco, California. I've got Shaun Paul here for a short interview. Shaun, nice to see you again.
Great to be here.
Shaun, tell me about your business.
Well, I'm here representing Ejido Verde. Ejido Verde is a Mexican pine resin supply company. And we're in a business of providing a supply of pine resin for a $10 billion pine chemicals industry that few know about.
So where's the corporate headquarters based?
Ejido Verde is based in Morelia, Michoacan.
That's about, what, an hour and a half out of Mexico City?
About 4 hours southwest of Mexico City, a few hours from the Pacific coast. We're in the mountains. Michoacan is the destination of the monarch butterfly.
I've been there.
Okay. And it's
magical.
It's a beautiful, beautiful part of the world, rich culture, beautiful landscapes, and it's the source of Mexico's pine resin.
Yeah, I remember being in those amazing, really extraordinary monarch butterfly preserves or acreage, and I do remember all the pine trees that are in that part of the world. What species of pine generally?
So we work with native pine from Mexico. If you look at pine resin producing pine trees used commercially in the world, there are 18 species of pine for pine resin. 9 of those are native to Mexico, and 7 of those are native to Michoacan. So I work with these native high-yielding pine resin species, and we're planting trees in response to deforestation. So historic long-term deforestation has resulted in the diminishing supply of pine resin, and we're restoring degraded lands with commercial agroforestry plantations, including communities around the monarch butterfly biosphere reserve.
Yes, well, I was down there 15 years ago or so with a group of environmental writers, and we were being led through the preserve by Homero Aregis, who is, as you may know, one of Mexico's finest poets and authors, but staunch conservationist on behalf of the monarch butterfly species. And it was very clear. Driving up to the preserve, we saw the logging trucks coming down the road, and it was really scary because monarchs only go to that small few acres each year. Really extraordinary. Now, question about the different strains of pine. Does the resin change from species to species, or is it pretty consistent? Or do you blend the resins? How do you do that?
So traditionally, pine resin is harvested in Mexico in the natural forest from diverse species. The industry of Mexico has grown accustomed to blending the resins from the different trees so that you have different species and it all gets mixed together. There are other parts of the world where they separate resin by tree species. What we do with the resin is we transform it in a biorefinery, and then we go through a second level transformation where we're making specialty ingredients. And the specialty ingredients that are sold globally to industry, it's really at a molecular level that we need to make sure we have the right ingredient. So yes, the resin varies in quality by place and by species, and we need to make sure that the products, the derivatives that we sell, meet very demanding specifications of global corporations.
Well, are you a B Corp? Can Mexican companies become certified B Corps?
Yeah, in Latin America we have Sistema B.
Right, of course.
Part of the B Corp, and I'd say Ejido Verde is in the process of applying for B Corp certification.
So how long has the company been active?
So Ejido Verde got started in 2009 as a pilot project of the Mexican pine chemicals industry. I came on in 2015 in a process, I'd say, of professionalizing and scaling the operation. We have every day at Ejido Verde, we plant 6,000 trees. That comes with a 10-year finance and technology package, every single tree. Our finance technology package that we provide investments to indigenous communities to restore their lands. And today we have about 2,000 people working in the field, stewarding new forests and being paid for it.
And can you give me some examples of who is buying the resin from you?
A resin, it's used in shoe glue. It's used in chewing. 1/3 of Wrigley's chewing gum is pine resin. Carbonated beverages, we sell to all the colas buy our resin. It's used in carbonated beverages, adhesives, inks, people that make inks for magazines, paints. We sell into 12 industries in 20 countries.
Is pine resin part of the secret formula for Coke?
Yes, it is.
Oh my goodness, there we go.
Although I don't know if it's a secret because it's an ingredient listed. What I would say in the case of Coke, did you ever wonder why it's always that flat brown? You never have to shake it up to get that. It's always that uniform brown. You put it in a closet for a year and it's the same uniform color brown. What keeps it uniform? You don't have to shake it like you have, it's pine resin is great at mixing oil and water. So small amounts are used in carbonated beverages.
Fascinating, fascinating. So, Shaun, you're a veteran of the social enterprise space. I've known you for quite a long time. You've been coming to SOCAP. I assume this is not your first SOCAP.
Not my first SOCAP.
What this time around, what are you looking for? What kind of connections are you kind of focusing on making here?
I've have an experiment. I used to come to SOCAP, really plan, get all the preparations, who do I want to meet, who's coming, schedule the meetings, schedule the pitch. And I've been, I think, coming for about 10 years. And I've experimented with being hyper prepared and just going with the flow. And I've learned going with the flow, you get about the same results, and it's a lot more enjoyable. So I'm here, Ejido Verde, we've raised and deployed $20 million, and we're raising another $25 million. So I'm here moving some of those relationships along in the capital raise. I use my time here at SOCAP. One way we're raising money is on the crowd. We have 10,000 capital providers from 78 countries.
These are accredited and non-accredited?
Non-accredited, all non-accredited.
Through what platform?
Kiva. We love Kiva. So, but 10,000 capital providers in 78 countries. I'm here exploring how we might scale that experience, how we might increase the support for Ejido Verde in a way that helps us share our message and our learnings together with capital providers. Yeah.
Of the non-crowd-funded funds, what types of investors have you traditionally found for the earlier round?
Early money came from people in the industry, so our anchor investors are from the pine chemical industry. Both Mexican and U.S. companies are provided about close to $10 million. Then the government of Mexico's made some contributions.
Are those through grants or
pay for success subsidies for reforestation? So it's sort of the government wants to see, they have a deficit in forests and they want more forests, and they have a program for pay for success. So we show our trees don't die and we get a subsidy for that. And that's been a couple $1 million. And then who are the other sources? Kiva and the crowdfunding was the first outside investor outside the industry. And then now we have support investments from Inter-American Bank and the GEF. And we are talking with family offices in the U.S. and Mexico, and what I would call impact institutional investors that are typically multilateral, have multilateral and government financing as part of what they do. Includes European private equity firms. We have, I say our top investor prospects that we're working with aren't, only one of them's here, but these are what I'm seeing in my world. The bond and climate change, and the government said the best, most effective, cheapest, easiest way to attack climate change is forestry. And so we have about 5 years, governments are saying the least painful way to address climate change